I feel like I just got out of a 10-round fight. Not that I would have ever made it past the second. I feel like there should be angels singing, a large crowd going insane, but I don't know how to do that in Shotcut. So, we're here. We finally made it to day 31. Man, like, I really didn't think this was going to be possible. I know it's simple for others, but I have a busier life than others. I'm just thankful that all of you tuned in. The numbers have been insane. Well, I'd say insane for me. I'm glad we got tons of new eyes on the channel. I know the list didn't work out as well as I thought it would, because I thought some videos were actually horror, but they were thrillers, so I watched them for no reason. But we're here for day 31 and The Lodge. Let's jump straight into the plot. During a family retreat to a remote winter cabin over the holidays, the father is forced to abruptly depart for work, leaving his two children in the care of his new girlfriend, Grace. Isolated and alone, a blizzard traps them inside the lodge as terrifying events summon specters from Grace's dark past. So, this movie is they try for a few twists too many, but it's a good, enjoyable thrill on its own. Pretty much it goes as such. Within the first 5 minutes of the movie, you know that the father has a new girlfriend. He asked new girlfriend. He's been dating her for a while. He tells his wife, Alicia Silverstone, that it's time to finalize the divorce. I want to get married to this girl. I'm in love with her. She's awesome. She's great. The mother did not handle it that well and ends up killing herself. The kids don't handle it that well for a very long period of time and are extremely petty about it. And don't get me wrong, I understand losing a loved one is so majorly problematic for children to deal with, but the length of pettiness these children go through is insane. Like, to the point of swiping a hat off of the new girlfriend's head because that was my mom's boggin. And I understand it falls under the lines of they're worried that she's trying to replace their mom. And of course, I know that children in horror movies are meant to be dumber and more selfish than usual. But it goes it goes definitely too far. This is a movie where it's just a prank, bro, goes really, really far. So they go up to the resort. Everything's fine. Everything's really awkward and quiet. The kids won't really talk to the new girl who's trying her best just to be normal. Early in the movie, they show that she had recently, when she was 12 years old, she was in a cult with what I believe is her father, or maybe it's just a higher cult figure. She's the only surviving member of a suicide cult, much like the Children of God, or I might be mixing them up, but I'm pretty sure it was the Children of God. That was the suicidal one with the wine or Kool-Aid. So they show that she's part of that past, and the kids find that out. They do a really good, really interesting thing, much like Hereditary did at the time, which I'll always tie something to something that might have did better. This was released in 2019, so I'm not sure when the other one came out. If I can put that up here, I will. But they use doll houses to kind of show certain scenes in the movie, either before they happen or as they're happening, which is really, really interesting take on it. Besides that, I don't want to really give too much away, but there's some things that it fell into a lot of early traps that I and the watch party that I was with kind of figured out and kind of poked at it, and they did an excellent job kind of hiding it away. But people who watch a ton of horror movies, if they seek this out, they're gonna really start digging for things that aren't necessarily either. They're going to start digging for things that are there, and they kind of leave itself kind of open. But we find out that she sleepwalks and that she has horrible nightmares about her past in the cult and like being the only survivor there. Without her medicine, things become... If she doesn't take her medicine, things become a lot worse. So you see her popping them pretty much like candy kind of early on when the kids don't like listen to her or give her the chance. It kind of like she's... Once again, kind of like she's being left out, much like she did in the cult. Besides that, that's all I'm really going to talk about this part of the film. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was really, really fun. Lots of little things annoyed me in the plot. I think it was well delivered and well hinted to throughout the entire movie. Plot itself probably gets probably a little bit higher on this because I think they did a good job like foreshadowing. So I give it an 8 on the plot. I give it an 8.4 on the plot. For scares, they do a couple of good jump scares, but besides that, it's more of the psychological slow ride. So I'll give it about a 6 on scares. The overall threat of them being trapped alone in this cabin with no power or food eventually, because it pretty much shows you in the trailer, don't at me. That is a real like problem. She already feels isolated, and then she's even more so when she has no way to call anybody. Her husband, or her soon-to-be husband, leaves, and she's stuck with 2 kids that hate her. So yeah, with that being the threat, I give it an 8.4 as well. Is it newbie recommended? There are 2 major, not say major, there are 2 big scenes involving, well, the mother's suicide early on is kind of rough. It's kind of quick, but it's that shock, like PTSD vibes for those that have like had family members involving that. There's no major blood or gore. There is an animal death, which is, it was a trend in 2015 and it continued on to that point, but it was something that should have died a long time ago, much like all the animals in these horror movies, but they can't really seem to stop. Then I understand they're trying to use that as like a breaking point, but you know. So is it newbie approved? I believe it is. You see some of them coming, so you can close your eyes for like the few of the deaths in it. Do I recommend it? Yes, I do. And what is the overall score of the final day of the 31 Days of Horror? The Lodge gets, I think The Lodge gets an 8 flat. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was watching, I finished it off with a few of my friends, and it's everything I wanted it to be. I didn't really expect to end it on a Christmas movie, but I couldn't find a way to watch Halloween legally, so I hope you all enjoyed these 31 days. I know I did. Happy Halloween. And remember to stay scared and take care.